It's good, fam. Gotta get that sage lit. Oh, you didn't know? Sage is a herb. You could smoke it. You could ingest it. Actually makes your breath taste good. Or it smell good. I like my breath smelling like sage and cacao. Mm-hmm. All right. Hope everyone's doing good. Little chilly today. She got her bite with her today. You see this the exhale coming out of my brizef. But happy holidays to everyone, or happy holy days to everyone. This is a special time for us as indigenous peoples. I had to come around full circle to the fact that these are our holidays. Now, how we celebrate them have been tweaked, right? Like, you know, even when it comes down to Thanksgiving and eating the turkey, like, we didn't eat the turkey. You know what I'm saying? The turkey wasn't for us. We wasn't eating no turkeys at Thanksgiving. You know, we were eating more organic things. Even if we were eating meat, it was still true meat, meaning the animal wasn't a hybrid. Okay? So turkey's a hybrid. It's not a natural animal. Therefore, we don't eat it. But that's for Indian culture. Anyway, all these celebrations are our celebrations. They've been hijacked hella tough. You know what I'm saying? To the point where it's so unrecognizable that it make you not even want to fuck with your own shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to read up on the history, know about yourself, know where your family came from, so you can know the truth about what's going on. So, this video here, or I should say episode number 2 of the In the Car series, and we're just having honestly what this car series is about is just the conversation about what's going on and what is everyone doing, what are they trying to do, what's the game plan, what's the goal, what's the process, right? You see the goal, you envision it in your mind, but then you're like, well, how do I manifest that? How do I make that real? How do I make that real, part of a reality that is outside of my mind, that I can see it and it can reflect that energy back to me? That's what we're dealing with now at this day and age. So this just goes back into realizing exactly who you are, what your position is in the history of this continent that has been home to many countries, to many ancient nations, to many ancient civilizations. America is home to many of those. And the people who we thought, I know for me, I thought, right, I was taken from Africa and brought over here on slave ships. That was the premise I was under for a long time. Not because it was my own premise. It was a premise that was programmed. It was programmed into me, right? It wasn't something that inherently or naturally came to me as far as, oh, slavery and we're from Africa. No, that shit was implanted into our psyche. And then we ran with that shit, which was part of the main game plan to make us not want to fuck with America, with the 1% of the population knowing the fact that America is home of the brave. This is the home of the brave. If you don't know who the brave are the American Indians. Okay? We're the braves. We're also the Buffalo Soldiers. Okay? So, when you know the history of things, it's easier to not repeat or make the same mistakes, right? Because you're able to see it, you're able to visualize it, therefore we can learn from it, right? And not keep it like it's something to be hidden from people or people shouldn't know about. So even St. Nicholas, dealing with Christmas, St. Nicholas was a nigga. There's a big ass statue of that nigga, okay, overseas in Europe. Can I name the exact country in Europe right now? No, I cannot. But I will verify for you, and I will put that link, and I will put that in the description. Okay, so you can verify for yourself. I'll even put the picture up there so you can see good old Saint Nick, or AKA Santa Claus. So everything originates from us as the people. And the people, when I say the people, I'm talking about the niggas, the niggas, the Negroes, okay? The American Indians, all synonymous. All synonymous. So dealing with this system, like, you see how ill America is and how this shit is set up? Don't get me wrong, it used to look iller than this. This is actually a step down from its original standards, right? But accepting the fact in itself that we established this country. The Negro established this country. Not the African American, not no niggas from Africa, not no white people from Europe, which we all know around the time before the 17th century, there was no so-called white people functioning around these parts. If he was talking about Europeans, he was talking about niggas. If he was talking about Spaniards, he was talking about niggas. Okay? He was talking about niggas. Only people who were more so white would be the Saxons. Getting another one. The Saxons. Right at the tip of my tongue. I definitely know the Saxons, for one, mainly. I'm forgetting the other state. Irregardless, I'll put that in there too, just to finish off that thought. But moving forward now, this is what America used to look like, from people to the outside world. Because we are Indians and our culture is very strong if we will allow it to live within us. Because remember now, part of how the structure is set up, according to expatriation and citizenship of the United States, dealing with the Supreme Court case law, states that everyone is assumed to be a U.S. citizen unless proven otherwise. Okay? And to be an American Indian, you must show that you still have community attachment and tribal affiliation to your culture. And that you're still expressing that today. As if colonization never happened. even though it wasn't really colonization. But anyway, so with that being said, it's always been us. We've always been here. Okay, so everything that exists here, as far as how things are set up, dates, calendars, times, holidays or holy days, that's all us as Negroes. That's all us. And the Negro is synonymous with Indian, with the American Indian. So let's stop taking that offensively. Everybody know when you talking about niggas, you're talking about the Indians. Okay? So it doesn't mean I'm not a Moor. It's just about expanding your range of understanding so you can have more in-depth conversations with people instead of it having to be very narrow. You know what I'm saying? Most Moors you try to have a conversation with, a nigga can't get past black. As soon as you say black, a nigga stuck. The whole conversation will just get stuck on black. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe in robbing myself of an opportunity to learn over petty shit. Especially when I have the overstanding of what it is. Why I need to argue with someone who doesn't have that overstanding? Know what my overstanding is and then meet the person where they're at. Meet the person where they are at. Then you can take them to level where you're at. But you don't bash people where they're at. They ain't gonna fuck with you. So dealing with the last video I put out as far as trying to help everyone to understand what the straw is and that there's nothing to be afraid of. That straw is a reflection of you. That straw is your estate. That straw is a person with which you have interest in. You have interest in that entity. So why would you ever want to discard something you have interest in? You know what I'm saying? And then you guys start thinking about not only your straw, you start thinking about your mom's straw, your dad's straw, your grandma's straw, your grandpa's straw. Those are all things that you are able to inherit. Those are all estates that belong to the family bloodline. And if no one is capable of running those estates, then one person shows that they are of the Asian majority and can handle that, then you can have your family members assign their estates to you. So that way, if anything happens to them, guess what? Those estates now fall underneath that private trust for the benefit of not only you, but their future generations, which would be their grandkids. Or which would be their grandchildren, etc., etc. It's not a fight, yo. Everyone's trying to fight the system like the system is against us. The system is not against us. The people who are running the system may be against us, but the system in its core is nowhere near in any way, shape, or form against the American Indian. For it is the American Indian that helped build the system. It is the American Indian, right, who was part of the Haudenosaunee Confederation that helped bring the 13 colonies into the United States of America and General Congress assembled. So it's all about unity at the end of the day. Common unity, right? Community. It's all about the unity. Unity is always the main root of it all. So everyone goes at their own pace as far as the level of understanding. This is the type of information you can rush through. This isn't the type of information where you're going to gain or be able to bust out moves in a quality of time without having to go through the proper steps of getting to that place mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Everybody has their own time or has their own cycle. So don't try to beat yourself up because you're trying to compare yourself to someone else. We don't need to compare to each other. You know what I'm saying? We need to focus on being the best version of you. You focus on being the best version of you. I focus on being the best version of me. First thing is, the best version of me is an American Indian. Off rip. If I'm going to find the best version, or if I'm going to attain the best version of myself on this plane, I'm only going to do that by being in honor of my ancestors. Exodus 20:12. I'm only going to do that by honoring my mother and my father, so that my days on the earth land may be long and plentiful, that the Lord thy God hath given thee. So, being in honor, meaning sticking to what the ancestors did, what they ate, how they went about doing things, how they went about utilizing natural resources from the planet, how they thought about things, all of those things. All that is part of being an American Indian, which is part of me being the best version of myself, because I am a descendant of the American Indian. Okay? That's what that's all about. And for you, it's the same thing, but you need to learn to be the best version of yourself. One thing I can tell you is, as a whole, Indians was not stupid. We weren't slow. Okay? We could read. We could write very well. You know what I'm saying? We could rap. We could sing. We could dance. We could do all. We could jack of all trades. Jack of all trades. We nice. That's always been the fact about the American Indian. And still nothing has changed. We still got flow. We still got a steez. I was about to say swag, but I don't want to say that. You know what I'm saying? You know what that means. So, maintaining the culture and showing that we still have the affiliation, how we cooked, how we ate, what we ate. All these things are part of the culture. All these things are part of what makes you able to be the best version of yourself. Because obviously our ancestors had the shit figured out. Okay? So what we need to do is find out what they had figured out and then improve on it. You know what I'm saying? Refine it. But we can't refine some shit that we're not even aware of. So, when people are still stuck on this Sesta QV Act of 1666, and they're looking at the straw, you're looking at your straw. I think it would be better if I refer to, anytime I say your estate, just know I'm talking about your straw. If you stop referring to your estate or looking at your estate as your enemy, then you would have no problems taking control of your estate and putting it where it needs to be. But because you are afraid, you don't want to touch it. You don't want to associate with it because you believe that doing so will put you under jurisdiction. When it is not even you that's underneath the jurisdiction. It's the straw that's underneath the jurisdiction. And you having an agreement with the straw to be self. What do you mean by that, Brother Cool? Oh, so all legal documents in the public realm, they're contracts. You ain't know? Anytime you see a document that needs you to put your autograph on there, that is a contract. I don't care what you say. It's a contract. Even if you're at your job and they're trying to write you up on some shit, don't they need you to sign some shit? It's a contract, okay? So, knowing how to live in contracts is crucial. Because at the end of the day, that's what everything is based off of. One's ability to live in contracts. Okay? So when you decide to start contracting out to foreigners and doing what you think and doing what they do instead of doing what your ancestors did, that is called abandoning your estate. Your estate deals with your rights and interests in anything and everything. Property, rights, hereditaments, etc. Culture, language, that's all part of your estate. All of that, your children, what your children have. It's not just about physical possessions. It's about those things that you can't it's also those things that you can't put a price on. Okay? Being a good father. All right? That's part of my estate. Okay? How I feel about myself, how I feel about my children, how I want my children to feel about themselves, all that is part of the estate. The information, the knowledge that I'm going to be able to pass down to them without them having to start from ground zero. That's part of the estate. So if everyone would stop being afraid of their estates and go take control of that shit, we'd be able to get a lot more things done. But it's not just dealing with taking control of the estate. You can't just skip the culture and go right into action. You're gonna get burned. You know what I'm saying? We got to fulfill all duties and obligations of what that status and position means. Like, you really got to sit back one day, vibe out, you know what I'm saying, to yourself or with your loved ones. If you're the type that like to take a tote, like your brother Cool, and go ahead and take your tote. You know what I'm saying? But really kick back and try to grasp the whole concept of inalienable rights, inheritance, okay, and everything that deals with your estate. Like, really, you know, like really consider that. Like, really consider that. You know what I'm saying? So, because all those things are important. And if you don't think they're important, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on those rights and protections that people be looking for. And they'd be like, yo, where's my rights and my protections that protect me from certain shit? Protect me from being stopped out here all crazy and shit when I'm traveling. That protect me from people just randomly being able to fuck with me whenever they feel like it. That protect me from these psychotic agents of the state that's just looking to cause trouble because it just seems like niggas is bored. Or it's the end of the month, so niggas gotta hit a quota. Where's those rights that protect me? They're there. They're there. But you gotta be living right first. You gotta be living right first if you want to assume the position. Yeah, I could go into the Social Security Administration. I could make myself the grantor beneficiary of my estate, right? Put that in their documentation that's going to be on their records. I could do that, and it'll say that hey, I'm the grantor owner. But am I really that, or am I acting? That's the difference. Am I actually a grantor owner of the estate, or am I just acting? Am I actually an American Indian, or am I just acting? Because when the status gets looked up on the public side, it should match. It should match when someone's looking at you and what's on the public record. There should be some type of synchronicity that's happening for the left brain and the right brain of that being. The left brain looking at the information written down in documentation form, and the right brain based on what the person is seeing abstractly, which is you. It should match. Left brain and right brain. This person is American Indian. Shit, you better look like one. You better keep the culture like one. You better be doing some of the same, not some, you better be doing the same habits like one. But if you're not, then you don't really got the full thing. You don't really got the full wheel spinning. You know what I'm saying? So, we don't need to be afraid, yo. This is our system. I don't know how many times I gotta say this shit. This is our system. This is our system. The United States of America General Congress Assemble is our government. It's ours and no one else's. So if you want to continue to go underneath the misidentification of who you think you are, you could do that, but I just need you to know that you're robbing yourself of some major rights, inheritances that are due you if you would only do you. Does that make sense? You'll get the shit that's due you if you do you. Like our ancestors did that. Be yourself. But in order to be yourself, you need to learn who the fuck we are and who the fuck we were and what the fuck we did. Only way you're gonna do that is going through documentation, yo. Like, don't expect YouTube Don't expect you're going to learn everything you need to learn just from watching YouTube videos. You're going to have to read some books. And not some, a lot. You're going to have to read books. You're going to have to read congressional records, documents, treaties, constitutions, anything and everything that gives you a better picture of what really happened here. You're going to have to do that. There's no way around that. And if you're like, oh, that's too much work, I don't want to do that. Well, then, my nigga, you're not an American Indian. Because American Indian, we reads. That's part of the culture. Reading, nigga. That's part of the culture. Reading and writing. Okay? Part of the culture. Always did that. Always had that. Nobody was here and there was no one out here either going, that's some insulting ass shit. No, the fuck we wasn't doing that. We were communicating with each other. Verbally, telekinetically, either through the tech or via papyrus, okay? Papyrus and a fucking feather used as a pen. That's it. So, be yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Understand who you are, what your family is. Really grasp that shit. Really grasp that shit. All right? And that's part of everyone's rights. Now, ignorance of the law is no excuse. This is exactly why, for us as Indians, reading and writing was always part of the culture, nigga, because ignorance was never an excuse, nigga. We should know. Especially when it's dealing with our land, we should know. We should know what we're dealing with. We should know what things are. We should know about the history of things. Because it is our land and no one else's. Okay? I'm going to leave y'all at that. Happy holidays to everyone. I'm about to go do some Christmas shopping. Yes, I celebrate Christmas because that's our holiday. Red and the green. You don't see it yet? Stop playing. You already know what the Christmas theme colors are. What are they? Red and green. What's the March flag colors?